Yeah. So what green bar do I push to make it louder? Hello. How do I move it? I see. Okay. Our first attempt at Spreaker. First attempt at Spreaker, so tell me how the sound is. Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard. No, we didn't start it yet. Come on, let's go. First attempt at Spreaker. There's the opening bell. Oh, you guys are going to be dropping out quickly on this one. I just want to know if this sound. All right. I mean, everybody says they can hear me, but now when I'm asking if they can hear me, they can't. I don't hear anything. Sound works. Is it loud enough? Loud enough. Or you want me to be louder? Oh, well, I can't make it what? I just asked you. You said move the green bar. Yes. I made it louder. Is this all right? Sound works. Sound is good. Will you be quiet? She's in the background, right? What? Hi. She's a little. We've been doing a lot of driving. Thank you. The amazing says perfect. That's the first time in my life the word perfect has ever been used in association with me. First time. Perfect. She's sound checking. Now you hear the real Andrea. All right, when she doesn't try to sound like a professional bitch, she's just a casual bitch now. Yes, isn't that what you put down when you put down occupation? Yeah, isn't that what you're right? A professional bitch. Let's see. Yeah, see if anybody has a sense of humor when they ask you what your occupation is, and you put professional bitch. Pretty much. Be married to me. Eventually, you'll turn into one. All my wives. I didn't. I only have you. So what? No, they started out as bitches. I I reformed them, and then they got smart and they left me. You're the only dumbass who's sticking around. Yeah, but you're sticking around at the right time. Yeah, this is called Spreaker. We have transferred. This is an answer to Brooks. We have transferred to Spreaker, and what Spreaker does, you see, Andrea spent a good portion of her day just loading up the podcasts and stuff like that, and promoting everybody. Spreaker does that by itself. So that's one of the. Is that what are the other reasons we changed? I, yeah, and then all the audio was was cranking up our site. So this audio goes on the Spreaker, and everybody has their own RSS feed, whatever that means, and show page. Okay, those are the reasons for moving over to Spreaker, and it'll be better. And it automatically shares on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, right? So automatically, and we can do videos, all right? Makes it a little easier, so now we can bring back the chatter column, something that was really strange because the chatter column. Oh, welcome aboard, everybody! I didn't even realize it was 9 o'clock. Okay, welcome aboard, everybody, and I got to tell you, it's just great to be back. Yeah, great to be back, and thank you, thank you. Oh, come on, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate. Come on, everybody, sit. Let's go. All right, you can sit down now. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, everybody's cheering. I can't get started. Thank you. Yes, so for the next hour, I will be talking fantasy baseball. And how about that, everybody? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Oh, I'll tell you. No, these are not sound effects, Brooks. These are the actual studio audience that we also changed that. No longer will I be sitting in my underwear with my hands in my pants doing a podcast. I will now be in front of live people and here at the Creedmoor Cemetery. So, anyway, welcome aboard. It is a lovely Friday morning. I got to tell you, we have built something incredible. The network, of course, built around something that I've been doing for about 18 or 19 years, and that's the daily podcast. And then when I'm gone, it gets better. It really does. Between Lou and Cha Cha and Andrea, I don't think we skipped a beat. And I'll tell you, I looked in the chat room. And I didn't see anybody say, "Where's Lenny?" No, I'm not upset about that. It just goes to show you how terrific of a group that we have. Andy did a great job last Friday, and of course Lou and Cha Cha did a wonderful job as well. So this is what we have here, okay? And I appreciate you all, and thank you all for being here. And good morning to Bradley, and Brooks is back, and Greg and Cha Cha. Got to call you later. And the Amazins, Easy Kill. Jimmy the Ross, Lou Landers has been here. Mal Pal, Meckert, Phil Chaplin, Kevin Hastings, that guy, the real Double A, Trader Jim, Unholy Toledo, and a cast of thousands. We welcome you all to the lovely and talented chat room. Okay, so we got look in this. I had 35 pages of show notes today, and some of them were from generic notes from a couple of days ago. I really wanted to get it out there because I did a lot of work on it. Nothing that was earth shattering, but I was pretty well set. I updated them, and then somehow I deleted it all. Did that ever happen to you? Delete like 3 hours worth of work and you can't get it back because it's not even I didn't even know where I got this after stuff. So yeah, I deleted it. And what did I do? I came up with something better. So anyway, let's get right to it with a lot of stuff going on. In Major League Baseball, we'll go over some of the highlights from last night and yesterday afternoon. And of course, but since 1966, and that was the first full season with at least one wild card in each league after the 95 campaign. If you remember, that was 144 games because of the player strike. Okay, so since then, just 73 of 138 eventual division champions held at least a share of the division lead entering May 1st. 53% of the division winners held the lead in their division entering May 1st, okay? So that's it. Since 1996, 15 of the 23 World Series winners led their divisions entering May, including each of the past 6 years. All right? And so there you go. And here's the other thing. On Tuesday night of last week, the Dodgers became the first team in the majors to reach 20 wins this season. And the club that got to 20 wins the fastest or tied for the fastest has won the World Series in each of the past 3 years. How about that? In 2017, the Astros and the Nationals reached 20 wins on the same day, and Houston went on to win the Fall Classic. So how about that one, okay? And of course, how does this relate to fantasy baseball? Well, if you're in first place now in fantasy baseball, you got a good chance. You already kind of solidified your chance to you've solidified whatever it's going to take to win your league, or at least come in the playoffs. All right, Zelmo is here. Good morning to Dr. Zelmo, okay? Good morning to Timothy, my hooker. So we're filling up loud and clear. Jimmy Ross, if I didn't say hello to you before, I'm saying it to you now. All right, so there you have it. That's pretty cool, man. Those are the trends, okay? The other thing is that, of course, as we already know, we've seen more home runs in April than any other April in Major League history. The previous record for the month of April was in the year 2000, the steroid era, 931. That was broken last Sunday when Eric Sogard hit his second home run of the day. And we finished the month with 1,010 home runs, breaking the previous record. And of course, once again, previous record was 931. So before 2018, there have never been a full calendar month of Major League history where there were more strikeouts than hits. And then last April, there were 296 more strikeouts than hits. And in June, there were 136 more strikeouts than hits. September, there were 436 more strikeouts. And that all combined contributed, actually, to a full season with 189 more strikeouts than hits. And now, April 2019, there were 426 more strikeouts than there were hits. Second consecutive April, and the second calendar month with more strikeouts than hits. So there you go. That tells a big story of how the game has changed. Really, how the game has changed and how we listen to it. Phil Chaplin, good morning to Phil. How we listen even to sports and especially to fantasy baseball. In the past, it was always on the radio. But now it's been the podcasts are starting to make a dent. Look, Andy and I have the privilege of being on Sirius XM, and we're going strong. We'll be back on Sunday, 7 to 10. We can only ask you to please give us a call if you can. Even if you're not listening, just pick up a phone. 888-963-2682. We would welcome your calls. It will show everybody how popular we are. Right? Something like that. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's go around the horn with some great notes. And once again, how important is April? Last year, 9 out of 10 eventual playoff teams had records of 500 or better at the end of April. And the 12 and 16 Dodgers last year was the only exception, but they had a +9 run differential, and that suggested that they would do better, okay? So there you go. Washington stirring it up a little bit, and this is kind of crazy. So they fired Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, and why not? I mean, the bullpen's been terrible. The starting pitching has not been great. Strasburg, of course, started off slowly. Strasburg, by the way, started off very slowly, but his last 3 starts have been very good. So you gotta take that into consideration with Strasburg. With Strasburg, who reached 1,500 strikeouts the most. But here's the thing on Strasburg. His first 4 starts, he had an ERA over 5.5. And his last 3 starts, he's got an ERA of 1.25. Little bit of a difference there. And if he continues to go this way, will Derek Lilliquist get pitches get glitches is here. Good morning, pitches. Joel, will Lilliquist get the credit? Mitch Harson is here, and we're setting up. You're going to hear Mitch soon, as we're just getting started with Spreaker. DK Lush is here. Good morning to the DK. All right, so we're happy to have everybody here. Hope you all have sound, okay? So just make sure, if you don't mind, that we all have sound. So there you go. I'm just going to type, hope sound is good. Okay. This is what we do. All right, there you go. Okay, now, so that's giving you a little thing, something with the Lilliquist. It had to be a little bit more than, after a month, you fire him, 30 games into the new season, what could have possibly changed from the preseason? I don't get it. But here's the thing about pitching. There were 400. This is why people say it's the ball, right? The ball is juiced. What about this? If you take a real look and think about this, there were 468 different pitchers who threw 30 innings last year. That broke the record of 462. Okay. Do you think there are 468 people on this planet good enough to be Major League Baseball pitchers? Yeah, there should be, right? But they're even questioning. That's what they bring into the fold. Are there 468 different pitchers who could be good enough to pitch in Major League Baseball? I mean, how many people with? I think out of the millions in this country, we could find 500 people, right? And one of them is Noah Syndergaard, third pitcher in the live ball era to throw a shutout with 10 strikeouts and hit a home run in a 1-0 game. So, all right, Unholy Toledo, get ready. Noah Syndergaard, third pitcher in the since 1920. What did he do? He threw a shutout, 10 strikeouts, and hit a home run. Who were the other two pitchers to do it? That's right. Who are the other two pitchers? Now, I'm only going to ask you for one because one of them was Red Ruffing back in 1932. But the other one was somebody that you may have heard of. Certainly Unholy Toledo knows him. All right? So, throw a shutout, 10 strikeouts, hit a home run. It happened in 1959. Okay? And there you go. And, look, so tonight, so when the Mets lost, here they go 1-0 with Syndergaard. Then the other night they lose 1-0 despite Jake DeGrom's great performance. It's the fourth time in Jake DeGrom's career that the Mets lost despite the fact that he threw at least 7 scoreless innings. One shy of the most by any pitcher in team history, and that's Tom Seaver. All right? So, the Mets just keep rolling along. So, all right, Mitch is having a hard time getting Andy, you got to help Mitch get sound, okay? All right, there you go. So, Andy, help. Okay, sound is good. There you go. There you go. All right, help Mitch. Somebody help Mitch, okay? There you go. Help Mitch get sound, okay? Andy, you got that? Hello? Okay, sorry. Good morning to Jonathan Cole. All right, so here we go. Now, the Cincinnati Reds are promoting Nick Senzel to the majors. They're expecting to do it today, and he's adjusted very well to center field. Big-time hitting talent, number 2 overall pick in the 2016 draft. Scott Schebler, who has really stunk up the joint, is going to get some bench time, and he really hasn't done anything to deserve anything other than that. Now, here's a trivia question for you. The answer to the other question was Early Wynn back in 1959. Here's a good one for you, okay? I'm going to tell you the player. I'm going to tell you the stats, and you tell me who the player is, okay? As far as road games are concerned, okay? This is a player who is number 1 in on-base percentage, okay? Number 1 on-base percentage on the road. Number 3 in batting average with a .395 batting average on the road. And 5th in slugging percentage on the road. Who is it? It's a National League player. He's 1st in on-base percentage. He's 3rd in batting average, and he is 5th in slugging percentage. And this is all on the road. Anybody want to give it a shot as to who you might think it is, okay? Because this is a hummer and a dinger. This is a good one. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is a good one. So anybody want to give a shot to who it might be, okay? There you go. Caleb's, once again, he is 1st in on-base percentage on the road. He's 3rd in batting average, tied for 3rd on the road, and 5th in slugging percentage on the road. Who is it? Okay? And it's a National League player, and it's not Christian Yelich, okay? All right? And it's not Jeff McNeil. It's not Cody Bellinger, okay? It's not Daniel Murphy, not Paul DeJong. One person in the chat room, it's not Jesse Winker, is close. One person in the chat room has the right team. Okay? I'll tell you that right now. Caleb Smith was 3-0 with a 1.08 ERA in his last 4 starts. As I mentioned, Strasburg 1.25 in his last 3 starts. That's the second lowest ERA for any pitcher over a 4-start span this season. Okay? So I got to stop saying okay. So Caleb Smith, 3-0, 1.08 in his last 4 starts. Lowest ERA for any pitcher over any 4-start span. Zach Greinke was low. Tyler Glasnow, Louis Castillo. Nolan Arenado's getting hot again. He drove in 4 runs the other night as the Rockies beat the Brewers. 26th time that he's knocked in 4 runs or more in a game. All right. Second most since 2013. Edwin Encarnacion has the most by knocking in 4 runs 3 times. All right, who's the player? Who's the player? Not Ozuna. Not Austin Meadows. Not Fernando Tatis. I will further give you another clue. He is an infielder. This is an infielder on a team where a player on his team has already been mentioned. Marcus Stroman, another pitcher, lowered his ERA to 1.43 in 6 starts. That's the second lowest ERA for any Toronto Blue Jay through 6 starts. Okay? Dave Stieb did it in 1983. He had a 1.29. Jeff Musselman in 1988. Roger Clemens in 1997. Nope, not Ian Kinsler. Okay? The question was, let's go back to Lou wants the question. This player on the road is number 1 in on-base percentage, number 3 in batting average, and number 5 in slugging percentage. That's right, Unholy Toledo's got it. It's Colton Wong, right? How about that? Colton Wong rates number 1 in on-base percentage. He rates number 3 in batting average, and he's tied, and number 5 in slugging percentage. How about that for Colton Wong? There you go. Nice going, Unholy Toledo, but you didn't get an early win right. You got the Colton Wong. They both have W's. Who's the team in the National League with the best bullpen? The team in the National League with the best bullpen ERA. Anybody want to give that? Right? Good morning, Greg. Best bullpen in the National League. And here's the other thing about Major League Baseball. Shortstops are killing it. 6 shortstops have an OPS higher than 900. Elvis Andrus, Timmy Anderson, Paul DeJong, Jorge Polanco, Javier Baez, Fernando Tatis. Last year, the only shortstop, there were 2, Trevor Story and Manny Machado, and that was it. All right? Wonga, but I said on the road. This is on the road, okay? There you go, on the road. Mike Trout now has 24 plate appearances with runners in scoring position this year, and he had a bases-clearing double. He's 4 for 11 with 11 walks, 2 hit-by pitches, and he set a record. He's reached base 28 straight games to start the season, and that passes. The Giants have the best ERA bullpen, and they're in last place, Lou. There you go. There's Lou's. Good morning to Mitch Harston. He's made it. How you going, Mitch? We'll be hearing Mitch pretty soon, who sounds a little bit. Mitch is going to start doing some work, some podcasts, some shows, and he sounds like who's the guy from Detroit? Jack, not Brickhouse. Every time I hear Mitchell Harston talk, I think of the guy from Detroit, the announcer from Detroit. Oh, come on, man. What's his name? Who's the guy? Come on, Unholy. Who's the guy from New York? From Detroit? The great announcer. Here's something that you may want to know from the Angels. Shohei Ohtani is going to face left-handed pitchers when he returns. He's going to get the everyday at-bats. Not Jack Moore. Oh, man. I forget the announcer's name from Detroit. So Ohtani is going to face lefties. That means that there's going to be a platoon between Albert Pujols and Justin Bour. All right? So Ohtani, when he comes back, is going to be facing everybody, okay? Everybody. There you go. Everybody. Ernie Harwell. Yeah, Ernie Harwell. That Mitch Harster reminds me of Ernie Harwell. So we'll hear him. The Yankees, when they were 17 and 13, they were winless against teams that had a current winning record. Yes, that's right, winless. And then they're now 0-5 against teams that are 500 or better. And their next 10 games are against teams with records of 500 and better. And finally, Gary Sanchez has 7 home runs this month, playing only 12 games. Let's see if he picks up. And who's the player who's got who's reached base in all 40 consecutive games? Anybody want to give that one a shot? Andy? Somehow I need you to plug in my battery. Oh, my battery thing came out. So I don't want to lose it here. All right, so we got to plug in the battery and we'll be okay. There you go. I just plugged in. I'm having all kinds of... Yeah, I'm plugged in. Who's the player who's got reached on base in 40 consecutive games? Anybody know that one? And here's the best trivia question of the day. We're going to get this for you in just a second. A.J. Pollock undergoing exploratory surgery to determine the extent of his injury. Remember, he was out for about 4 or 5 months last year, but it's not going to be that. Yeah, Luke Voigt is the guy. The Padres beat Atlanta 11-2, and it was their first 9-inning win by more than 3 runs this year. How about that? First 9-inning win by more than 3 runs. And Tim Tebow, not really hitting it up. We're going to a Syracuse game in about a week or two. He went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts today. And he's batting 143 with a 35% strikeout rate. Tebow is just 3 extra base hits and no home runs. 3 extra base hits and no home runs. Okay? Arguably the craziest stat of all is this. There's Ernie Harwell for you. 120 pitchers have won a game this year. And none of them are named Chris Sale. That's right. The whole month goes by. This has to be the most unbelievable stat. With 120 pitchers getting wins, Chris Sale is not among them. How about that? Okay, and here's the trivia question. Now, it's crazy. 120 pitchers have won games this year, and none of them are named Chris Sale. And the Nationals and the Red Sox are a 1-12 in games started by Max Scherzer and Chris Sale. How's that for your fantasy baseball team, right? How's that for your fantasy baseball team? Now, here's the trivia question of the day. This will determine the genius of the day, all right? All you Yankee fans, get ready. This is something that's fairly current. This is not current. This is not ancient history. Name the last catcher to catch a game for Mariano Rivera. Name the last catcher, okay? If you lost Connect Dunkioki, he will be facing lefties. So he will be a full-time hitter, not sitting against left-handed pitching. Okay? He's going to play every day. So who was the last catcher to catch Mariano Rivera? Okay? There you go, J.R. Murphy. And the coincidence there was he also became CC Sabathia's 3,000 strikeout victim. All right? There you go. John Ryan Murphy, good one. I didn't know that until I saw it. But he's also CC Sabathia's 3,000th strikeout victim. So he put that together. That's pretty cool, right? Baseball could see more than 1,000 more home runs this year than they hit in 2000, the peak year for the PEDs. How about that? Anybody think Cody Bellinger is going to keep it up? We all know what he did, but he leads Major League Baseball in all the triple count, 429, 14 home runs, 38 RBIs. So everything. He leads in everything. And we'll see. Can he keep it up? And here's something for the Giants. Through their first 28 games, The Giants have not hit a home run in the first 3 innings. That's the most since 1991. So there you go. A little up close and personal. Those are the notes of the day. All right, and Andy's still talking about Trevor Bauer. Malpal is here. Meckert is here. Good morning to you all. Cam has joined us. You can hear Cam this afternoon at his usual 12:30 time. So great to have you all aboard. All right, let's just go over some of the things, and let's take a look at some of the box scores now. Haven't done that in a while, so let's take a look and see. Jesse Winker, as you probably know, batting at the top of the order. All right, he's starting to hit the ball. He's up to 224. We still see Eugenio Suarez batting second with that 224 batting average. He has picked it up a little bit. All right, that's the key thing. And Dietrich is getting playing time, but it's going to only be minor. If you have Derek Dietrich, Easy Kill is here. Good morning. If you have Dietrich, you have to try to get anything for him, because here's the deal. He's hitting 217, and all of a sudden he's been put on the map. Yasiel Puig, is he the biggest disappointment in Major League Baseball so far? Batting 178. I'll tell you, I went out to get Yasiel Puig. I got him. I spent $28 on him. I was willing to go 30, and 178. Boy, without Yasiel Puig, I am in a lot of trouble. Okay, Jose Ramirez killing teams. Yasiel Puig killing teams. I know Justin Fensterman from Sirius Radio mentioned that because of this thing with Star Wars. I don't know exactly what's coming up. Star Wars is coming out with another movie, I think. You got Aaron, the battle. He wanted to have a theme. I gave him a suggestion. Star Wars. Sale, Harper, Nola. Yeah, that's right. Ramirez. All these guys. Puig. All stars that are having wars with themselves. I expect Jose Peraza to be up at the top of the order soon. I think they'll switch him with Suarez. I think they'll put Peraza first. They'll put Winker second, and they'll move Suarez down. It'll be better. When I mentioned Schebler, he's only batting 127. Tyler Mahle actually pitched pretty good yesterday, but to no avail. He only gave up one earned run. I still think he's iffy. And Noah Syndergaard with a great game. But the Mets really do. Dominic Smith, another, he went 0 for 2. At least Cano played. But nothing special. Amar Rosario still batting 8th. I'd like to see him move up, of course, and I say it every time. He's got to move up to the top of the order to get his full value. The Padres and the Braves, and I told you last week about Stram. Now, he pitched a great game. He's only going to pitch, I would say, 160 innings. That's it. 160 innings for Stram. Probably not much more. Franmil Reyes got 2 hits. He's batting in the second spot. A little bit of a surprise. Ty France played some third base yesterday. He went 2 for 4. Myers out there in left field. Got 2 hits. But Stram is the big story. He is as good as I said he was going to be. So go out and get Stram. Albies continues to bat first. Acuna hitting at 282. So I won't say, he has upped his average quite a bit in the last week or so. But he was slumping to the point that we thought maybe the sophomore jinx would affect his batting average. That's how he was getting. And Camargo starting to get some more playing time. Batting at 233. He got 2 hits yesterday. Faulty, as we all know, 4 2/3. Did not look good. This Atlanta team is going to have to. They're in a position where they're starting to really flounder. And you know what happens when you have flounder, right? Astros and the Twins with Berrios leading the way for the Twins. He is now 5-1. Tremendous 7 innings. All right, this kid's going to be he's going to move up. People hesitant to take a Minnesota Twins starting pitcher, but Berrios is hitting 291 on his ERA. And Brad Peacock got here. I made a mistake yesterday because we were on the road. I quickly looked at my daily leagues, and I have Brad Peacock, and I got annoyed because I forgot to put him in. So I forgot. So what a great feeling when you think you made a mistake and you forgot to put a pitcher in, and he goes 3 2/3 and gives up 7 earned runs. Okay, that's how your day can change for you. And as far as the Astros are concerned, Bregman, of course, hit a home run. But Minnesota, this is the team. This is the team. Jonathan Scope, he's batting 278. He got 2 hits. I expect him to start getting hot with the home runs because that's what he does. That's exactly what he does. Colorado, they are moving on up. They're moving on up. David Dahl hitting at 333 if he could stay healthy. He got 3 hits yesterday. I told you about Arenado. The big question is, in Colorado, and Andy and I are going to talk about this on Sunday, who's going to be the second baseman? I mean, McMahon hitting at 216. Hampson hasn't done anything. He's batting at 177. I'm going to tell you something. If you haven't picked up Brandon Rogers yet, you got to get him. He's hitting over 300 in the minors. He is going to be the second baseman for this Colorado team. McMahon got off to such a good start. He is still fizzy. He has since fizzled. Hampson hasn't done anything. McMahon's Rogers is doing great. I'm going to tell you, get him. Is Desmond worth holding on to? I would say yes. My fear, of course, Blackman out there hitting about 280, but he's coming on. David Dahl, it's going to be hard to sit Tapia, who's hitting close to 290. So I don't say drop Desmond, but I do say that if you can trade him, absolutely. And I had a fear. I talked about this, and yet in Tout Wars I still took him. It just goes to show you, if you're down on a, here's 2 axioms. If you are down on a player and he falls into your lap, let him fall out of your lap. Don't take him because it's so stupid. And I did this with Desmond. I didn't like him this year, but because he was cheap, I took him. Is that stupid? Is that stupid? Yes, it is. And it's the same thing. If you like a player, and you really do, then go get him. Just get him a round or 2 early if you like him. If he's a 12th round player and you think he's going to be worth 8th round value, so get him in the 8th round and get him. That's all. Just get him. Eric Thames batted second for Milwaukee. He's sitting at 270. And Gamel's starting to hit. I have Gamel in Tout Wars, 2 for 5 yesterday. So he's starting to hit up a little bit. If just watch the kid. If you're in a real deal, I don't say he's going to be very much, but look, he could be a very. If you have a lot of injuries, you really need a player. Just keep an eye on Gamel. He could be something. And Tampa and Kansas City. I mean, is Tampa trying to screw us up? They got a guy named Lau and they got a guy named Lowe, and they both spell their name the same. And this kid Brandon Lowe, and they got Nate Lau. Low, Lau, I don't know who they are. All right, all I know is they spell their names the same. But when they extended Brandon Lowe, you had to know that somebody thought he was going to be something. Nate Lau, is that his name? Nate? He got a hit. And Charlie Morton, considered to have some of the best stuff in Major League Baseball. When players were polled as to what pitcher had the best stuff, surprisingly enough, the answer was Charlie Morton. Danny Duffy went 6 nice innings, giving up 1 earned run. Willie Peralta got the loss, so we're going to start calling him Wiley again. And, of course, in Kansas City, Merrifield, nothing different there. Hunter Dozier continues his run with 2 hits. Is it time to trade Hunter Dozier? Look, it's easy to say yes. It's easy to say no. It's even easier not to comment at all. But I'm going to say yes. And I have Hunter Dozier in the league, and I'm going to put him up for sale. Can't see him just doing this all year. Strasburg, we told you about, having a great season so far. Don't forget, coming up next, we got Cha-Cha and Lou. Colton Wong, batting leadoff now. Okay, Tyler O'Neill in the lineup. He went 0 for 4. And Harrison Bader, 232. Matt Wieters got in, actually had a single. He's batting 357. This is going to be a time where Yachty's going to need a rest. All right? Don't give up on Shaw. You're right, Lou. Don't give up on Shaw. Victor Robles. up in that second spot, batting at 254. And Michael Taylor hasn't been getting a lot of playing time, hitting at 136. But Strasburg is the key. Dakota Hudson, nice game. 1 earned run in 6 innings. And finally on the box scores, and then we'll get into some more highlights of other players. Well, we got a couple more games, okay? You got the Cardinals and the Nationals. We did. You got the Red Sox and the White Sox. Mookie Betts now up to 303. No longer is he a Star Wars candidate. Michael Chavis, look, he's around 300, hitting around 290. Very hard for them to see. He was a guy who they were gonna just look at and send him back down. Right now, coming out of camp, it's they're not sending him down so fast. Not so fast. Johan Moncada now batting fifth in that lineup, hitting 300 with a 364 on-base percentage. So he is starting to have the year that we had hoped for, but still not stealing the bases. David Price went 6 innings. Giolito, 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Still hard to take with that 5 ERA and the 1.4 whip. Not exactly the pitcher that I'm looking at. So a little tough. And the last game, and then we have some other interesting notes that you might want to hear. I hope you do. And again, sincere thanks for everybody coming on. Last game, of course, is the Blue Jays against the Rays, and Trout hit his 7th. Cole Calhoun, who we talked about last week, hitting in the 8th spot. Tyler Skaggs comes in, pitches a good ball game for 6 innings, 2 earned runs for Skaggs. Aaron Sanchez, who says he's over the blister problems. Now what's the problem? 4 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. Tough guy to take. Randall Grichuk hit a double. Got an RBI, his 14th. I'm jumping on the Grichuk bandwagon, okay? So I will take Grichuk. And then finally, with Trout, Billy Goodwin doing great. He's hitting 341. Calhoun moved down in the order. He's now at 204. And don't forget, it looks like Pujols and Bohr are going to be platooning with the emergence of Shohei Ohtani playing against both lefties and righties, okay? So there you have it, okay? That takes care of that. Very quickly, a couple of other notes that you may want to be interested in. And don't forget, Sunday morning, we will have Andy and I, 7 to 10 Eastern Time. If there's any way you can possibly call, join this fun. It will be terrific. Sean Doolittle allowed 1 hit. 1 struck out 2. Didn't allow an earned run. All right, final out in the 8th inning with runners on first and second. He walked that first batter, and then he's got just 4 saves. But he's accounted for all the team saves. Carl Edwards looks like he may be getting a chance to come back to the big club. He's got 7 innings in AAA with a 2.5 ERA, and the opposition is batting 125 against them. 125. So if you want to speculate on somebody who might be a closer, you may want to go after Edwards, because it doesn't look like Morrow, there's a chance he may not come back. Okay? So Andy's asking the question, and I figured she would. Chance he might not come back. So Carl Edwards should be back at some point. He's showing good control. He's posting solid numbers. 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. All right, we talked about Dakota Hudson. First quality start of the season, by the way. Juan Soto had a precautionary MRI on his back. Results came out negative. So I say that's positive if it comes out negative. Anybody understand that? If something comes back good, it should be a positive, not a negative. I've always wondered about that. Yeah, it should be a positive. All right. And we caught to answer the question about Ian Desmond, Tapia 3 for 5 with a solo homer. He played in all 4 games against Milwaukee, 5 for 14, 2 extra base hits. So we'll see what happens. He's got something to think about. He could be in that lineup on a much more regular basis. By the way, Fulton Newich gave up another homer. 3 home runs against them in 10 2/3 innings. Very bad defense. Atlanta is starting to fall apart. Very bad defense back there for Atlanta. And with David Dahl, I got to tell you, he missed time in April with an oblique injury, but he looks like he is going to be tremendous. Has 87 at bats so far. Okay, Freddie Peralta looks like he's out of a job, just bad pitching. Josh Donaldson should be good to go for the Braves this weekend. Okay, and Eric Fetty's coming up, but he's not being listed as a starter if you guys have Eric Fetty in your lineup, okay? Those are the National League highlights. Let's take a gander at the American League, and then Cha-Cha and Lou warming up in the bullpen, okay? Dylan Cease will not get called up as a replacement for Carlos Rodon. White Sox will have Dylan Covey. So it'll be Dylan, it'll be Covey over Cease, but two Dylans. And, of course, Nicky Delmonico hit that walk-off home run. Cole Calhoun, as we said, he was dropped to the sixth hole, all right, with some early season struggles. He's 31. I don't see what goes on there. Reports on Aaron Sanchez, he wasn't fooling anybody. 11 base runners. So that box score report I gave you is really indicative of how he looked. Jerry DiPoto says he's open to trading Edwin Encarnacion and his $20 million contract at some point. How's that for a contending team announcing that they want to trade somebody like that? All right? That kills me about baseball. You can't be trading Edwin Encarnacion when you have a chance in the pennant. You just can't do it, man. Tyler Skaggs left quality start, struck out 5. He's got a 3.1 ERA and a 1.2 whip, 24 strikeouts and 8 walks. Don't disregard him. He's good. This guy's, you should take him. Ryan Brazier blew the save, took the loss against the White Sox. So where do you think Craig Kimbrell? Where do we think Craig Kimbrell's going to sign? All right, here are the top candidates. You got Atlanta, you got Washington. I'll still put Philadelphia in there, and Boston. Atlanta, Washington, Philadelphia, Boston. Where do you think? All right, and the Cubs. Atlanta, Washington. Wow, Atlanta, Washington, Philadelphia, Boston, or the Cubs. Those are the 5 top teams. Where does Kimbrell sign? Okay? Where does Kimbrell sign? Danny Duffy, as I said, kept the Royals close. It's 18 swinging strikes by Danny Duffy. So if he's out there on your waiver wire, give him a shot. Okay? Give him a shot. Andrea, you should be out getting ink. As I said, Brandon Lowe, 2 for 4 with a solo home run. 7th homer of the season, but his first since April 19th. Very impressive, this kid. Very impressive. And there you go. So that kicks things in the wall for today. Don't forget, Shohei Ohtani set for mid-May. That's when they expect him back. Miguel Sano moved his rehab assignment. Now he's up to Double-A. So eventually we'll see Miguel Sano this year. Don't forget about him, okay? Miguel Sano coming up to Double-A. All right, so that just about kicks it all in the wall. Great to be back in town. I will tell you, it's great to be back with you guys. Really appreciate it, and thank you. Thanks, everybody. You're too kind. That's really phenomenal. Please be seated. Please be seated. All right, and please be seated. That's up in the balcony here at the theater. We have President Lincoln. Wait a second, Abe, you all right? I don't know. I'm recording from the John Wilkes Booth Theater, and President Lincoln was in the audience. You know, we have a live audience. Something must have happened. I don't know. Maybe it was his car. Anyway, is that in bad taste? If it is, I'm sorry. All right. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Coming up next will be Lou and Cha-Cha. We call them the gangsters. All right? There you go. There we go. Lou and Cha-Cha, everybody. Take a bow. That's it. There you go. That's for Lou and Cha-Cha. And here's the thing you want to know about Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha. All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. And Andy, is there a button here that says I love you? And they're off. Kentucky Derby tomorrow. That's right. First, answer the question, where will Kimbrel sign? Anybody want to give that a shot? Because that's going to be the Twitter poll tomorrow. Andrew, is that okay? If the Twitter poll tomorrow is where will Kimbrel sign? I think we've had that once already, but still, I think that's the Twitter poll. All right? All right? I think so. So anybody want to give it a shot? Kimbrel, where's he signing? I say he signs with Atlanta. I think the money that they saved on Albies and on Acuna, I think that was the final deal. I think they will sign him, okay? So anybody in the chat room want to give it a shot, okay? Andrew says he signs with the Cubbies, and Brooks says Kimbrel to who cares. Cam has a good one. It could be, Minnesota. Boy, that's great, Cam, all right? That's great. Absolutely great. He should sign with Minnesota. Mr. Lincoln, how'd you like that performance? Okay, there you go. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you all being here. Phenomenal performance by the chat room. Let's give the chat room a hand, okay? Thank you. We'll be Cha-Cha and Luke coming. All right, thanks, everybody. Please be seated. All right, please be seated. All right, coming up next, Lou and Cha-Cha. All right, there you go. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. No, we won't. Sunday, 9 a.m. East, 7 a.m. All right, Sunday on Sirius Radio, 7 a.m. I'm having fun. Hope you are too. Cha-Cha and Lou coming up next.